Go.
Welcome to the studios of Broad Street Realty. This is Cruz Pick 6. There was Pick 6 by Cruz. Last week, Jacob was successful. I was horrible. Owen was okay. Jacob, can you talk about the games we had last week?
We had our marquee games were the Bengals, Jets, the Panthers, Broncos, and the Steelers, Redskins.
You want to talk about which game did you get incorrectly?
The one game I got incorrectly was the Patriots Cardinals, in which the Patriots won, in which I predicted the Cardinals to beat the spread, the favorite team.
I see. So you got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides that, you were all correct.
Yeah.
All right.
So these are
The marquee games.
3 weeks we alternate who picks the marquee games. It was my week to pick them, so here they are. Owen apparently is being a schmuck again this week.
No, a schmuck. If you want to.
Or whatever. Again this week, and whatever, he cannot make it, so we have his picks on my phone.
Okay, great. Let's
So-
start.
We'll hopefully be on camera finally next week, when he gets to pick the marquee games himself, in fact.
Okay, let's start with the Bengals at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was awesome last week. We're all three picking this game. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh to beat the spread. Okay. Jacob, you want to give me a spread? Give me a score, or what do you want to do with that game?
I think the Steelers will win, but
Yeah.
I think the Bengals will cover,
Okay.
as it will be,
What do you
say, 29-26 Pittsburgh.
got? Uh-oh. 29-26 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you can put,
Bengals cover.
yeah, so you can put that in parentheses.
Bengals cover. Okay.
Owen's pick for that game
Yes.
is the Steelers 27-21.
So he's got 27-21 Steelers. So he's got the Steelers covering.
Yes.
So he and I'm going to put that on P. He and I got Pittsburgh. You got Pittsburgh to win, but you got the Bengals covering.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to your next game, which is,
Seattle and Los Angeles.
and tell us about that.
Well, the major story is the fact that this is the first game in Los Angeles in 21 years,
Okay.
with the Rams moving to LA, and
Right.
so it's a big game. Owen's pick, Seattle, the obvious favorite.
Right.
Owen is picking the Seahawks to win 21-7.
21-7 Seattle. What do you got?
I am actually going with an upset because the Rams seem to be very competitive against the Seahawks in recent years. And they've won the last 2 years against the Seahawks at home.
Okay.
So I'm actually, and because of the frenzy at LA that could ensue, I'm actually picking an upset here,
Okay.
which will be, let's say, 24-21 Los Angeles.
Okay. LA clearly covers. All right. You know what, Jacob? I hadn't thought about this game, but flat out you convinced me. I'm just going to go with what you said. I'm going LA. Okay? I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to cover. Okay? All right. I'll start with the Packers at the Vikings. Packers are good. Vikings, how did they do last week?
They didn't do well in the first half, and then the second half they did great.
What was the score?
25-16, although what I found out is that they did not win with an offensive touchdown.
What? Who did they beat?
Tennessee.
How'd the Packers do last week?
They had a close game against a team that is relatively not that good, but they're getting better.
Yeah, they beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take the Vikings here. What do you got?
I actually am also going to take the Vikings because it's at Minnesota.
Yeah.
First game in the new stadium.
Uh-huh.
Changed to be in first place.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings can win this game by a score of... The score's a tough one. I think the Vikings will win 27-20.
Vikings. Okay, what's Owen got?
Owen has the Packers 24-17.
So Owen's got the pack.
Yeah.
All right,
So
those are the marquee games for this week, fellas.
yes.
All right, so those are our picks. These are the marquee games that Jacob picked, the marquee games this week. And these are our picks for the games. And I should have probably picked my game before I heard Jacob talk, but he really convinced me regarding the Rams versus the spread, and I had to go with it. All right, let's talk about the next three games that your next three games that you picked. Actually, Owen's next three games that Owen picked. He picked
The Bills to win by a lot tonight.
What did he say?
28-17 Bills.
28-17 Bills. I'm not picking that game. I
have a winner, but
had I been picking that game, I would not pick that what Owen did. But I'm not picking that
his
game.
pick for the Redskins game is 24-14 Redskins.
24-14 Skins. All right, I'll put it on for Redskins. I'm picking this game also. I'm going to take the Redskins. I like his score. I'm just going to put the Redskins.
I think we have a better chance of winning this week than the following week.
Are you picking this game also or not?
Yes, I am.
What are you picking?
Well, I don't want to. Well, first of all, I have something to say. There's a reason why we are not going to lose to the Cowboys. There's a reason.
What's the reason?
George Allen.
George Allen. Why is George Allen the reason?
Well, he hates the Cowboys.
He's no longer with us.
Whatever. 27-17 Redskins.
So you have a 10-point spread also.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. So all three crew coughs like the Redskins this week. Come on, Redskins!
Yeah.
All right. The next game, Owen elected to go with a college game.
And spoiler alert, I'm doing a college game next week.
You're going to do a college game next week. Great. Well, Owen decided to go with the number 3 team in the country, playing the number 14 team in the country.
It's a good game.
It's a very good game.
31-21 Ohio State.
Both. What do you got?
31-21 Ohio State. So you can put something like OSU or something.
Well, I'll just put B for Buckeyes.
That's a good idea.
I'm not picking that game. I have no feeling about that game. That's at Oklahoma. That's an interesting pick. How did Oklahoma play last week?
They actually won pretty convincingly.
Who did they play?
I forgot, but they played a pretty crappy team.
What about Ohio State?
I think they won.
Okay. All right. So we have now your other two. You have two more games to pick, Jacob. These are your two games. KC at Texas is the first one, and Colts at Broncos is the second one. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Tell me about KC at Texas and why.
This game, I think, convincingly will be a very close game. I think it's going to go down the wire.
Okay.
You know, this is actually a tough pick because the Texans did well last week, but so did the Chiefs.
Yeah.
However, I am picking the Chiefs specifically because they came back from a big deficit last week.
Okay.
And convincingly they seem a little bit better.
Okay. What do you got?
23-20 Chiefs.
23-20 KC. KC and the Sunshine Band. So you got KC's is the underdog, and you have KC winning outright.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The next game you're picking is Colts at Broncos. Mile High. Broncos and beat a good team last week, correct?
Yeah.
Who'd they beat?
The Panthers.
They beat the rematched the Super Bowl. That's right. They won that game. So the Colts are coming in. The Colts are who the Colts played last week?
They lost to the Lions, but in a really competitive game.
Okay, interesting. What do you think?
Well, I actually think this is when the Broncos are falling off. They're falling off a cliff.
What? Really?
They only won the first game because that's what the Super Bowl team does.
Okay.
Win the opening game.
Okay.
This is when they start their downfall.
Yeah.
And the Colts, I think, will try their hardest to beat them. In fact, I think they'll beat them in pretty convincingly fashion.
You were telling me Indianapolis and then go into Denver and win.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
I think they will win 23-14.
Wow. That is a shocker. Okay. Clearly you like the Colts to beat the spread. All right, last two games are my picks. These are teams that I believe in this week, and I believe in the favorites in this case, both cases. I believe in the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to play well, and I think the Patriots are smart. Belichick is smart, and I like the Pats. 6.5 is not enough to have me pick the Dolphins. I'm taking the Pats. That's it for this week. Thanks to our special cameraman Mark Strauss in the background. Make your picks. Enjoy the week. Thank you, guys.